Well, let's talk about baseball because right now my run that I've had is really with baseball. It's been like a month now that I haven't really lost. I haven't had a losing week in baseball. But there's two things that have to do with baseball. One is the pitchers. It's like no other sport. Sure, the goalie's in the game the whole time, but the goalie doesn't really do anything if the other team is on offense. And so in other words, I'm sitting there, I'm in the net, okay? But if the puck is in my end, and I win 4-1. It's not really like I did anything. But those pitchers, if they're on fire and they're throwing 95, 98, 100, 107 pitches, and they're throwing strikes and they're getting people out, it really changes everything. So with Major League Baseball, the pitcher is such a different thing than any other sport. Football, basketball, hockey, any of the major sports. And then that's the one thing that I focus on is I look for who do I like? And then I'd say, who are they facing? And I will take a game that I like and I will cross it right off the list. If they're playing somebody that's hot, a pitcher that's hot, because we talk about it on our show all the time. You get on a run with a pitcher, you bet him for the first 5 innings. You bet him for the game. You bet the other team's under total, the run total under for the first 5 innings, and you bet him for the game. And then you turn on ESPN or MLB, whatever channel, and he's in the 8th inning with a no-hitter, and you're just dancing around the house. It's just so much fun. So it's really about when you handicap, guys, make as much money and cash as many tickets on that one handicap. And so I'll give you an example. I told you about going to the sushi bar. So I liked the game over. I didn't have a lot of time to bet when I'm driving for 24 hours. I had no bars. That's what I was doing. I was trying to bet live action with no bars in the middle of Texas. And if you've heard of West Texas, everybody's heard of West Texas. I had never experienced West Texas. And if the Lord is good to me, I never will again. So you got to win as many bets because you're doing the handicap. And if you're just betting the game, you do all that handicapping, you bet just the game, you're just missing it. I had the first quarter, first half, game, and I got open parlays with that over, and they just kept throwing. And when these guys in the NBA are throwing up threes, they go through the net. It's amazing how good they are.
Right. I have a question with you mentioned the baseball. How have the random no-hitters and the amount of no-hitters affected them betting-wise this year? Because you mentioned top pitchers, but it's been a lot of random pitchers that have done it. Joe Musgrove, Wade Miley, guys like that.
You're absolutely right.
What about Adam Frazier leading the league in hits right now? I mean, that probably is a rare bet.
But I'm not going to go down to player prop levels, okay? But you're absolutely right that the beauty of these no-namers, I mean, Musgrove, of all the guys that are going to throw the first no-hitter in the history of a franchise, it was Joe Musgrove. But the bottom line is that's good for you if you have him that night and maybe the next game. So, I mean, remember the Yankees had a run where they weren't scoring at all. I think they had 1 or 2 runs for like 7 or 8 games. My philosophy is the same thing with a pitcher. The guy just threw a no-hitter. I'm coming back with them again because I don't necessarily need him to win. If you bet the other team's team total under, the team could still lose, but if they lose 2-1. You remember when the Mets lost 1-0?
Right. I remember that
time.
deGrom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I lost that game. Yeah. I had deGrom, but it wasn't as painful because I bet the other team's team total over. But all I tell people is there's so many ways to bet.